Japanese and English version, and you basically get to see the title names of what they were called.
Mm-hmm.
Because in America, Red Earth, as we're going to play today, was called Wizards in Japan. Don't understand that. Don't
Weird.
really. Barely understand it. Barely care about that. That's not why we're here. This is why I'm here. We're playing this. This is an old game that never. This is the first time it's ever been seen outside of the arcade.
Here.
Oh, it's glorious.
And I can't wait to see it whenever it catches up.
Yeah, this. I'm seeing it as it's happening, but you're catching a delay based on it. Or
Yeah, so you might want to, like I said, I'm here to support you conversationally, but yeah, it's like anything happened on screen, happened probably about 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, you're not catching the one for one of what's happening on.
Right, yeah, so yeah.
And my internet has finally have gone stable enough to do this.
No idea.
No. My internet is stable enough to do that for you.
Oh, okay. Hey, everyone! Now I can see what the hell's going on.
Yeah, it's stable enough because I don't know what the fuck was going on.
That would be part of the list of things that was going wrong.
Mm-hmm. No, don't get too comfortable. I may decide to just nuke this because chunks, just in case of chunks start happening.
True. No, that's fine. But it's like I'll take it for what it is.
As this opening rolls through with the characters from Red Earth.
Yeah, because I don't know what it looks like exactly on your screen, but it is rolling at fairly slow speed.
Okay, yeah, well, alright. It was nice while it lasted.
Okay.
Come on. Come on, don't you chunk out on me, you son of a bitch.
Except it was not fast at all. Anyway, but yeah, so yeah, I'm going to be conversation based.
Yeah, okay, until we can figure out why the...
Basically, the input's so high or something along the lines. And again, I'm not on my computer, so I can't give you a full answer.
Input a frame rate.
I'm just kind of curious if it's going to actually stream correctly. That's where my next question is.
Yeah, that was its own thing when it was a problem.
Yeah.
Like another equally game that is just as missed as Darkstalkers.
Well, I mean, you say just in this, but then again, it's like according to you, this has never made the states outside the arcades.
It's never made it outside of the arcades.
So,
Period. I played it in the arcade, yes, but that's it. That's about it.
Yeah, so it's like I don't know how you could really say that because again, it's like Darkstalkers is much more missed by that argument. I'm just saying.
It is much more missed by the argument, yes. And there are 4 characters to choose from, and I don't have much time. There's Leo, Mei Ling, Kenji, and Tessa. I'm going to stick with Leo because why not? This game did often give you a password to work with at a certain point in the game where you can actually have your progress saved in the arcade.
Right. Alright, well, go ahead and kick the pig. Let's see where we're going. So what is the plan? Are you going to try and do online, or...?
Oh, yeah, hell no. Not with Red Earth. It technically does have a versus mode. Technically. If you want to get into that, it's more or less a 2-player versus mode, but it only has 4 characters. The way its default, I guess say, arcade/story mode is, of the 4 characters that you choose from, Tessa, Mai Ling, Leo, and Kenji, you basically go through their story and how they came to be and all that things. And basically undoing or... to do whatever their story is it's essentially just a big boss rush.
Interesting.
Because you just
So who are you tackling first?
right, you're lagging behind. I keep forgetting you're lagging behind. Ugh. I'm running through Leo.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know. It's like, yeah, you're just going to have to accept the fact that I can't see what you're doing.
Yes, I know. You may have to. Yeah, I may have to run through this on other console just for the sake of other thing and less problem and stuff.
Right. Well, once we get a few things nailed down, it shouldn't be as big a problem. But yeah, like for an opening gambit, like at least the audio seems to be working the whole nine. Opening gambit, I say.
Opening gambit, he says, but yeah.
This is all big news because yeah, it's like you've been looking forward to this game especially for fucking
For
months
the
on end.
longest. I
Mm.
just want it to work.
I mean, technically it is working. It's just
It's
the other parts we're
chunky.
trying to do. Yeah.
It's so goddamn chunky.
Mm. Actually, kind of curious what this boss rush looks like. I mean, I assume like it's not just the other fighters because otherwise it would be a very short boss rush.
Nope, the bosses that you're going up against are basically other stuff.
Hmm.
Well, found my super.
Damn. Okay. I finally get into the first boss. It's like, yeah, I was like, I kind of see where you're going with this now.
Yeah. It's a bit chunky on my end. Just playing it like,
Well,
ugh.
it is chunky to watch too. I mean, it's flowing. I'll say that.
I'm more annoyed. I'm watching this better on my phone. It's capturing faster on phone than it is on everything else. I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm looking at it between the capture on my computer and the capture on my phone, and it looks nicer on the phone.
It's a whole much nicer on the phone. And I bet once the stream's over, you're like, yeah, pulling the video, yeah, all that stuff, yeah.
Yeah, no, it'll clean up, like, once
Eventually.
it's like, yeah. But as far as like right now, it's like, yeah, it's just a little like herky jerk. But
God, why does everything suck?
well, all right, I suppose part of this is probably the emulation from like basically an arcade cabinet to software to this, because this is basically a glorified emulator.
No shit. Hell, it actually runs cleaner on an emulator than actual Steam.
You get what I'm saying,
But
though.
then again, I have a lot of shit going on right now.
Well, yeah, between audio inputs and this, that, and the other. So I guess I see kind of what you were talking about. So basically, you're like taking over. Like this one was like a risk map kind of scenario.
Essentially, yeah. And Leo is what you would cross Conan the Barbarian with Lionel from Thundercats.
I could kind of see that. I mean, the Conan thing is obvious.
Yeah.
I mean, then again, it was like when we did the beat 'em up bundle not too long ago, we had similar problems with some of them just running like chunk the entire time, and we thought it was our connection. It's not. It's actually the emulator.
Yeah, because Red Death has never been like the fastest game to run. Even though it's running on the Capcom SPC, the same crap they run on Turbo Street Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it, no orbs and all that shit. Like, it's cleaning up now,
Mm-hmm.
more or less, but hey, whatever.
Big one you get.
Yeah, because I know if I jump to like Darkstalkers or a game that's meant to actually,
It'll be like flowing like butter.
I know, right? A game that's meant to actually run pretty quickly.
Yeah, no, because we did that one. I want to say it was that Chinese Dynasty game. I forget what it was. It was part of the beat 'em up bundle. Oh, and that thing ran like chunk the entire time.
It ran chunky, yeah,
And like that's kind of what I'm seeing here.
but it was probably not meant. It probably didn't have the purpose to be streamed. But come on, we all know we're gonna stream it.
Someone's going to stream it. Is the short answer.
Right? Because I know even if I hop on the dankest of Dankstalkers, hop on everything else, it'll probably run fine. Probably. I don't know.
Know it.
Alright. Yeah, this is kind of.
Well, at least I can. I'm starting to see the appeal to this. Is like because with the bosses and the whole nine, it's like it's a very different take on a fighting game, basically.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I mean,
it's an adventure game that has fighting elements.
Yeah, it's essentially it's a cross between like a fighter and one of the beat 'em ups. Like actually, we had beat 'em ups that actually had level up mechanics before.
Yeah, Captain Commando, Battle Circuits are the two main ones that had the level up mechanics of, well, literally everything in there.
I don't remember Captain Commando having one, but I'll take your word for it.
Well, remember when you were able to unlock your moves in Captain Commando?
Not really, because I mostly just kept using the same normal attacks. But I'm sure you're right.
Yeah. Well, Battle Circuits had it too, especially when you were using the plant and then got a better slam than what you were using.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, and I remember mashing the fuck out of that slam because it was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
It was hilarious. And like with this game, if I'm not sure, because I'm not sure what the hell they would actually do with it. If it actually got a proper sequel or proper anything with it.
I was gonna say is like being it's been buried in the Capcom archives for fucking ever. Is like
the Capcom dungeon.
Only diehards like yourself will probably actually have any kind of recollection of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for instance, like I never even heard of anything like this, and it's like, oh yeah, no, I was like, I remember playing this in the arcade. It's like, ooh, okay.
One of the more pain in the ass bosses to fight. Think of this: the damn Sphinx, Chimera.
Well, I mean, she always was a pain in the ass, even in the lore, so it would only make sense.
What is this? This one is ice. Fuck!
Baby.
Ah, damn it.
Oh, that's what we should have for fucking DLC for Turtles.
What?
Vanilla Ice.
Word to your mother.
Go ninja, go ninja, go.
Fuck! Hey, got me.
So you could say she iced you?
I got roasted, man.
Oh, well, I was hearing ice attack, so I can't see anything. You have to understand this.
Well, the thing is, what they also do is like, oh, you lost your place. You can still keep fighting with the same character and don't have to go back to square one. But you can also continue, same character, keep going through. But you can switch characters and keep going through.
Yeah.
I know, right? It's a weird mechanic, but hey, I didn't mind it.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's just like when you do that, the boss gets harder when you switch characters.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's the only trade-off. Like, oh yeah, you traded a character. That's good for you, but now you gotta deal with the harder bosses to go through.
Now you will pay for your insolence.
Oh shit! Petrified me.
The sound of the distressed angry.
No, because, well, you'll see the chest laser.
Damn. Yeah, but like you were saying, it's like, as like, okay, and I understand diehards have a thing for this. I mean, they've been emulating stuff like off the arcade cabinets for years.
Very much.
But
Yes.
yeah, I'd say it's like, even like, where would you go with this for the sequel? Like you're asking, it's like, because you just have to remind people that this game even fucking exists for one. Because again, up until today, I didn't know about this.
Right. Hell, because the only character out of this, let me see, well, not completely out of this. I know Tessa, the chick from like the far left on the character select screen. She made a couple appearances in Puzzle Fighter, a couple of other actual Capcom games in the background, just kind of just hanging out. The ninja.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The ninja Kenji, he made an appearance in Capcom vs. Namco, Capcom X Namco, or whatever that game. He was partnered up with Guy in that one. My Ling never really saw the light of day out of this game.
Yeah. Did you say Leo came out somewhere?
Yeah, Leo showed up in whatchamacallit. He showed up in Capcom Fighting Evolution. That horribly made crossover game.
So he showed up in a worse game, basically.
That was his only appearance. Him and the dinosaur from like the first level. Like those were like the only two characters showing up from this. Poor My Ling never really got a chance.
Well, yeah, but Capcom's famous for that. Like they have great characters and then they do nothing with them.
Very much so. And I know, fuck, I got a super jump. What's that? Leo also is a costume in Street Fighter. I forget who has him, and I was trying to super jump over the statue to get to the other side, because right now, just basically just break the car. It's like the Street Fighter break the car, but to do... There it is. But I'm going the wrong way.
It's the statue.
Yeah, it's the statue, and you can get like more XP for it. Damn it.
Well, I was gonna say,
the the controls are limited, to say the least.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially like you were saying, it's like, you know, if the game's running chunk as is, kind of deal.
Yeah, like it smooths out in specific areas, but it's a bit chunky.
And like I said, that might just be an emulation issue, and that's probably what my guess would be.
Hell, I'm still fucking playing it. Capcom, you can't keep me down, you son of a bitch. Because like the slight issue is trying to it's not exactly tank controls, is the fact that trying to even remember controls at any point.
Say that, it kind of reminds me of like Fighting Street.
Yeah.
Where there's the illusion of controls.
Yeah, because I believe this is a 4-button control game. I want to say it's a 4-button control game. I could be horrendously wrong. I haven't really tried the shoulder buttons. Hell, I haven't tried pressing pause, for that matter.
Well, I mean, what was it? Because the original cabinets of Fighting Street actually had like little boxing pads that you punched. The original version. They also broke very quickly, and they're very rare. Because drunk assholes would sit there and wail on them.
Alright. Nope. Damn it. Sick. Gross. See, now I'm dealing with ice. Then you can make a joke here.
What moved the king out of the kingdom? The Ice Age!
Yeah, because because like the enemies will drop like orbs and stuff that you can use for basically just supers. Because no, Leo has charging star.
Of course he does.
He's a barbarian, shield bashing.
Well, he's a Catman barbarian.
He's Catman the Barbarian.
Catman the Barbarian.
I'm mad I typed in Red Earth to see, like, okay, how much fan art is there of any of these characters? Me hoping.
Yeah.
Leo has the most fan art.
Does that really surprise you?
And then I also looked up the Reddit page, like, oh, okay, about this, like, and people discussed me. Of what they said Leo is to them.
Well, I can think of many things to go with that statement. I'm sure, Red Earth Rule 34 is probably a thing.
Of course, Rule 34 if anything is a thing.
True.
And the fools on Reddit call Leo... Well, the word Bara came up and I had to look it up to see what the hell that meant. me wondering... Like,
Leo is very predominant.
I'm fair, like, what the fuck does that even mean? I actually had to look that shit up, and I regret looking it up to know what that means now.
People are impressed. There's 9 pages on, like, Rule 34 for Red Earth. Now, granted, all 9 of them have been Leo so far, but...
Oh my god. Okay, sure, yeah. I mean, apparently he's me going off what they said off of Reddit, the big Bara cat daddy. For whatever, like, sure. Okay.
Well, for lack of a better term, is like, he's what some of my friends would describe as a bear.
Hey man, if I want to deal with the bear, I'll go camping or go to San Francisco. It's the same difference to me.
I say you go talk to Zangief. Although,
that's a Siberian bear. He pile drives you.
Although there is apparently some crossover. Because apparently they like seeing Leo paired with at least one other Capcom character so far. And guess what? He's a Darkstalker.
Dimitri? Is it Dimitri?
Nope.
Are you sure it's a Darkstalker? Because usually, well, Dimitri...
Oh yeah, it's a Darkstalker.
Talbane.
Nope.
Really, the wolf?
Shit you not.
In all honesty, I would expect him, Alicia, cat-on-cat action.
Okay. Just for the record. So I typed in Red Earth and went to Rule 34. It took me till page 8 before they brought up a different character besides Leo that I could recognize easily.
Oh, Lord.
Like, all of the 8 pages before were filled with nothing but him, Talbane, and him in general.
I mean, sure, he's the big Bara cat daddy. Sure, yeah.
Well, yeah, he's a fan favorite for a very select group of people.
Very selective indeed. And fucking Harpy, one of the more annoying ones, because you had make sure you got to get up there to hit her. So there's like no alright, I know Mai Ling is one of those characters, like, for whatever reason there was like little art of her.
Double check real quick.
Like anybody else besides Leo in that game. In there.
Hydra Newell?
Oh, the sea snail thing that I just fought.
Yes. That was that's what set me off for the next one. It's like, oh yeah, there's the first character that's not Leo.
Because it has tentacles, and why not?
Yeah. Well, you should have known that was coming.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Anyway, I guess getting back a little bit more on topic here. So, I know that this is also coming packed with Darkstalkers, and yes, this whole trip down your little memory lane is going to be heavily focused on Darkstalkers talk because that's literally what this game is mostly shot at.
Yeah, every Darkstalkers game except Darkstalker 3.
It was in. It's a furry. It's mostly guy on guy. Yeah. But yeah, well, like you said, it's like yeah, this whole collection is going to have like what the entire Darkstalkers library at this point.
More or less, with the exception of like Darkstalkers 3, which was poorly advertised in my opinion, because it's technically the third proper game thing. The only thing it really did was because you saw in the library where it actually went from had like 5 different Darkstalker games that ran through it entirely.
Right.
Yeah, because there's the first game and then the second game. It had so much data between the two of them, they actually had to split it up and release them both at the same time.
Sounds like almost like. Well, I guess that's not really technically. Never mind. Ignore what I said.
Yeah, because like there was there's some other kinds of technical issues with the Capcom hardware, where it couldn't support too many things going on versus like when they tried to port things to go from arcades to home consoles.
Yeah, things were simplified a lot because basically they had like twice the power to work with at the arcade cabinet
Versus basically going to trying to slim it down to home consoles.
Right. Because I know, like, the most infamous example in my head is probably KI for the Super Nintendo.
Yep. And then, yeah,
and like,
just like that, because Darkstalkers 3, I wouldn't say was a specific home release that actually had all the characters that were in both ends of the game, because I know in Vampire Savior 2 and Vampire Savior 2 and Vampire Hunter 2, between those two games, there was like the character list actually kind of had people on it that weren't on the other game. Because I know,
yeah. And it's weird. Like in one version of the game, you'll get this character, but you'll lose this character or something like that.
Yeah, basically. Because I know one game had Donovan and a different game didn't.
Second game is just the first game refined. It's not even a sequel.
He's not wrong.
Well, it's kind of like how I sit there and talk about like Evil Dead to Evil Dead 2. It's Evil Dead 2 is Evil Dead 1. It's just the better version.
Yeah, that's basically it. The better version of the first game.
But, you know, compared to like the Street Fighter method, which they have, where it's like Super Hyper Turbo Tournament Edition. And it's like, hold on, let me add a few more prefixes to this.
Only thing I have main issues with the controls is like, oh, when I'm trying to, there is no default ass jump button.
And then just up?
Yeah. In the arcades, when I played it, there was a jump button.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
So wait, is super jump like down up like it normally is?
It is.
But combine that with chunk and it's kind of questionable, huh?
Combine that with chunk, it's very questionable. Like, okay, let me hit the thing. Shit. Motherfucker.
Son of it!
No, because he did the thing where the spears come out the ground. I know that super, that does a shit ton of damage for like no reason. But then again, this whole game...
It's an arcade game.
This whole game is boss rush settings.
Mercy! Fight hard! Oh, he's got a Thanos bubble.
More. Yes, he has a Thanos bubble.
Anyway. But yeah, no, like, cause my, fight Pyron and Darkstalkers 1 and see how much fun you're going to have.
Fuck, man, I know! That's gonna be painful. This guy.
But yeah, no, going back to, like, KI for the SNES, because that's where most of my stuff comes from. It's like they had to cut it down considerably. Like, they removed animations, like this, that, and the other. Because I remember, like, you would win a match, and if, like, you did good, like, get a supreme victory or a stage fatality or something like that,
Yeah.
like, you would just get a picture compared to, like, the little, like, small video that they played. You know, and that was just, you know, something they had to sacrifice somewhere. I mean, at least you still got it.
They gave you something. It was better than nothing to a degree.
Mm-hmm. And for what it was worth, I mean, it still got the idea across, especially for someone who never saw a KI cabinet.
Damn it. Fuck off, you fucking... Let me do my thing!
I'm not gonna lie, it's like, I would love to own a KI cabinet, but I also don't want to pay for a KI cabinet.
Let you win it as a prize for something.
Well, I mean, you can get them, and hey, they're hard to get just as is, but most of the time, if you get them, you gotta repair them. And, you know, that kind of shit, that's a money sinkhole. That's worse than boats.
Yeah. Or
Hell,
or 1 week insurance from Cobra.
Mm-hmm. I mean, hell, I've already got enough expensive hobbies as is. I mean, I sit there and half collect video games as is.
Ah, shit.
It's bad, actually. Like, so one of the channels I watched is a guy named Austin Eruption. He's a good cat. Like, I like the way he does things. And I shit you not, he did a video not too long ago about expensive video games that you probably don't own. And I owned like that. Because he was talking about the big ones too, like the most notable ones, like Gotcha Force and like Futurama. Those are the ones I'm familiar with. But there's a whole lot more than that, I promise you. I see you charging start now.
Yep.
That was quite the save right at the end of that charging start, I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm. Ah.
That's might as well do a KR since he has no one to play with. Oh, look at that salt! Just throw!
Aha. I remember the stage. How much I hated the stage. Because you get stuff at like the higher corner angles that you can't really see with specific characters. And with Leo being the tanky guy, his main course of mobility is basically super jumping and charging star.
Sir. Fuck your pottery. Fuck your murals.
And I gotta do that with avoiding the freaking
The floor of things, yeah.
the floor of things, and these things open up and throw stuff at you if you're not too careful.
Oh wow! It's like they just started doing that because like you didn't have any problems on the other side.
I mean, the left side is always the easier one to deal with because like around the I want to say like after 20 seconds, they'll both ends will actually start firing on you.
Confused. What was the danger for the sea? Oh, that was the last hazard kind of thing, I guess?
It was the last hazard. I just kind of stood there just because.
I mean, yeah, perfect with it at least.
The perfect only counts like, oh yeah, you collected everything. You broke all the things.
69,000.
Nice. No, seriously, I would love for this to actually make a somewhat of a sequel, being somewhat of a sequel of some kind. Capcom, hint, hint. Capcom.
In its own weird way, I can think of like pseudo sequels, if you will. I mean, if you look at something like Shadow of the Colossus, it has a very similar concept. The leveling system's obviously different, but the premise is there, whereas like literally every battle in the game is a boss rush.
Mm-hmm. Now, they can even do it in a beat-em-up way with just just groups and groups of enemies, and you just got to go around the map to basically beat the damn thing, kind of like how Turtles went.
Yeah. Well, you gotta remember too, is like, Turtles is kind of odd man out here lately. It's like, name like a last major beat 'em up that was really caught a lot of people's attention.
Streets of Rage.
Lately.
Streets of Rage 4. That's
Yeah, Streets of Rage 4, yeah.
oh fuck.
Yeah. But that's not the common denominator, though. That's what I'm getting at, is the fact that it's like, beat 'em ups are kind of a rare niche kind of in the genre now, compared to what they were. Again, that's not to say I don't like them. I love fucking beat 'em ups. They're fun as hell. But you don't see them that common. It's like Streets of Rage 4 is like the exception. I can think of one other one off the Takedown. Takedown came out not too long ago, but that's also been that was over a year.
Ah, great.
Capcom sees your head and fucking tells you to shove it.
Like this, and this guy's powered by a fucking Chaos Emerald and shit. Hey, Dots, we found Omega.
Alright, so by comparison, Streets of Rage 4 got released 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm. And I still see people play it even on Twitch.
I'm not saying they don't play it. That's not my point.
Damn it.
Game. Get fucking. Is that the one I'm thinking? No, that's not the one I'm thinking of.
Always hated this guy because if he gets you going in a loop, you're fucked.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Because he'll launch projectile, keep you pinned down, and then launch projectile again. Do the extended jab with his lance, and then launch projectile. Like, if you get caught in that fucking loop, you're done.
Oh, see, it's not the Takedown, it's the Takeover. The Takeover was released in 2019. So that's 3 years ago there. According to Dio, mainstream game dev barely give a shit about fantasy anymore. Too busy wasting time making shit more realistic. And he's also not wrong, because, that's what's selling right now for most part. I mean, you got your diehard, fantasy games and genres, or sci-fi fantasy even. But, a lot of the stuff's we want it more realistic kind of thing.
It needs to be realistic.
What is it?
Hyper realistic. That is our thing.
Well, the closest I can think of right now, and it's kind of weird the way I would describe this, but it's I would describe God of War, 2016, I think it was.
Damn it, got me in the mirror.
Where that's a fantasy game, but it's very realistic based. Because 80s and 90s were mostly about the action genre, making beat-em-up games were hits. We're not in that era, though. We're in the era of making sitcoms and drama series about games, which explains The Last of Us. I'm just saying.
And basically how it won Game Awards for everything just because it exists in the actual sense of nothing.
No, absolutely. I definitely agree with that. And, as a person who's never played the game proper, either of them, I never saw the appeal to begin with.
Haven't you heard, Dawes? It won Game Awards for this year, last year, forever.
Because they also said God Hand fucking sucked ass, but I know that's bullshit. God Hand is one of the most fun, over-the-top games I've ever played.
And we're going to play it on stream at one point.
Definitely. Just a matter. It's also on a weird console because like the PS2 is kind of a tricky thing to emulate or not emulate. Stream. Emulation might end up being the solution to that one.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's other games too that are just like ridiculously fun. It's like, they don't get the light of day. Like Vector Man, ridiculously fun. Doesn't get as much fun, or it doesn't get the light of day.
Damn it! Oh, you don't, you bastard! I fucking.
Hey.
Nope. Gotta. Ah, damn it! Does so much damage. There's literally no. Like, I hate it. Ah! Trapped in a mirror. I hated fighting him so much. Ugh. Like, fuck this guy. You laughing at me over there, Das? We may have lost Das.
No mercy. Attack.
Ah.
The deal argues that Doom Eternal should have won Best Sound Audio Mixing. And it's like, I can't really argue with that because fucking soundtrack for that game is amazing.
Mick Gordon.
And it is.
It's Mick Gordon.
It's not about fun anymore. It's about money and how much you can make the audience feel the feels. That you're subverting expectations.
The hell are you talking about?
Dio's thoughts on the industry.
No, I see him.
Mm.
But Mick Gordon does anything. Just let Mick Gordon make music. The end. Mick Gordon presents music. The end. There you go.
Just put it on a loop. Call it a day. Anyway, like Dio even says, like, yeah, the industry has changed, and I can't even argue with that. Because, back in the day, you could sit there and have, like, be swarmed in sprites, like, compared to Doom, and that was, like, the fucking coolest thing in the world, because, like, literally, it's, like, it gives, like, almost EDF vibes, where it's, like, it's literally you against the fucking world trying to fucking take down everything. Now everything has to be much more cinematic and streamlined, because that's what they do, that's what they want, and that's what they sell, so to speak.
Yep.
They can give a fuck less how much fun you have with TMT Shredder's Revenge. I shit you not. Like, I was sitting there fucking walking around, and, like, something popped up on my phone, and it was somebody, like, bashing the fuck out of Shredder's Revenge. Basically saying how it was, a nothing but a mindless romp through, like, 16 levels, loaded with callbacks, this, that, and the other, but offering nothing new or interesting.
Wow, this person that person has no life and doesn't know how to have fun anymore.
Something I was like, what the fuck are you on about? It's like, again, it's like this was made for a very specific audience. There's no even argument. I mean, they picked a niche, granted one of the most common ones, but a niche fucking still Turtles reference. It's like they went with the 80s Turtles and fucking stuck with it. And most of those characters haven't been reintroduced in any way, shape, or form. Like side characters, mind you.
Yeah, except for like when they did Turtles Forever, like almost 10-ish years ago on TV, where they just basically loop it, going through like the different other iterations of the Turtles.
Mm-hmm.
From like with Utron Shredder was the main bad guy in that shit.
No, not just but special effects or sound effects. Each gun has unique sound to them. Each gun should blast sounds different. The way monster reacts and the way you shoot them. Oh no, yeah, I actually watched a not documentary, but a profile piece, I guess would be the best way to phrase it, on like the soundtrack and like the ins and outs of how that worked. And I'm just kind of amazed because like, yeah, it's like there is no such thing as a standard soundtrack for Doom Eternal. Like, it's completely based on the weapon and what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention the monsters you're fighting, of course. So, like, each time you go into a scenario, it's unique. Last was 2, douchebag, acoustic guitar, generic gun sounds. Music screen is the highlight of the sound design for them. But it gave them the feels, Dio!
And basically wrote the basis on how not to write a female protagonist.
Again, I don't have enough context for the story to really argue about that.
Captain,
I know that was a big thing. How they wrote the character.
Every female character in that series was essentially Captain Marvel. That is the easiest way I can explain it.
I understand what you're saying. I'm just like, again, I am missing radically necessary context for this argument. And yes, I understand Captain Marvel. I get that. I get what you're saying. But, there is nuance that's getting left out. And the nuance does make a difference.
Fucking poison.
And poison, no! Come on, Dio, don't you want to listen to a white guy with an acoustic guitar? The wigwag, if you will?
Nah, you bastard.
Son of a bitch! Well, yeah, they took a lot more pride in their musical scoring back in the day too. I mean, for instance, what comes to mind immediately is KI again, because God, I love that game. Came with a soundtrack, a fucking full CD that came with the game.
And with the recent KI, who also did the sound on that? Mick motherfucking Gordon.
You can't keep saying Mick Gordon, and every time I want to say it's Mick motherfucking Jagger.
And
I know it's wrong, but
very much so. And Mick Gordon is the music for recent, well, more or less recent KI that came out. God damn this man. That's all. Give me a Mick Gordon game, he just makes music. The end. Mick Gordon's music maker.
And I love the other thing too, is they actually incorporated old songs from Killer Cuts into the new KI. Mm-hmm. Which is fucking amazing. It's a great callback for fucking people who've been longtime fans. Now, granted, you had to stand around for fucking 30 seconds before you heard it, but still.
I mean, hell, half of the songs run for about 7 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Friggin' TJ Combo's still favorite one.
Mm-hmm.
That song
in short... Mm. I know, I'm reading what you were saying.
Wow.
In short, it's a story of violence because violence, but from one point of view, because it's okay for Abby to get revenge and never get comeuppance, but Ellie has to suffer. Meanwhile, you're forced to kill someone despite the game's message is telling you violence is wrong.
Violence is wrong, but I gotta murder this person for revenge's sake.
I mean, it's kind of like any other fucking major fucking story in a lot of senses. Alright, so Resident Evil's on my mind, because I watched a big Resident Evil retrospective of it. And how fucking ass backwards the story is on that one, whereas it tells you one thing, but immediately it's oh no, fucking it's not Abby, what the fuck's her name? Alice, yeah. It's look how strong these characters are, but wait, Alice can come back and fucking take care of it. It's
You're not incompetent as long and no one is ever competent or strong enough because the main character isn't here. The end.
It's where it's like the main character basically lives outside of a bubble in the context of the world she lives in.
Why don't you do like
Yeah,
everyone else and wait for Goku?
yeah, exactly. And from that's kind of what I'm getting is like, you have the main themes of the story that tell you one thing, but then it's like, oh, well, fuck it. I'm the main character and I can do whatever the fuck I want.
No mercy.
I'm the main protagonist and I can do what I want because you guys can't do shit without me.
And every time they try to like, be poignant or bring something back or reference to something, they usually end up fucking it up and just making it more confusing and worse. Like, and by comparison, it's like, look at something like Shredder's Revenge. Going back to that, like, I'll agree that they didn't add a whole lot to it, but they really didn't need to.
Damn it.
I mean, they had clear-cut heroes.
He transformed me. I hate it.
Well, they had clear-cut heroes. They had clear-cut villains. Most of the motivations were already set up. There wasn't any kind of major game change. It was just like, this is Shredder doing what Shredder does.
Get those turtles. Tonight I dine on turtles.
And so, like...
I can't even block this. It sucks. I hate it. You turned me into a cup and made me young again.
But I still enjoyed fucking playing Turtles Shredder's Revenge because, again, like, it was kind of like, getting to know, like, an old friend that's been gone for a while.
Charging Star!
And I don't need, like, extreme depth in every game I play. So, like, I play Dynasty Wars and I enjoy the fuck out of that. But that's also because, like, mindlessly killing fucking thousands of people is fucking kind of like stress relieving.
Everything that is moving on screen must now die. The end.
Exactly. And like that game's gone on for what 9-10 iterations and a few spin-offs.
Hell, Hyrule Warriors was basically a rip-off of Dynasty Warriors, but with Zelda characters.
Well, it's not really a ripoff if you hire the company that does it.
Like, I know what I said.
Just saying.
Yeah, because I watched, like, this is basically Dynasty Warriors. I'm like, what? But, like, they weren't even, like, Hyrule Warriors. Like, yeah, like, the name I can let go. Like, this is just Dynasty Warriors with Zelda characters. Like, that's it. That was the pitch. It's still people bought it. It still made money. I can't be mad at that. I almost bought it too.
Well, I mean, that's not even counting Samurai Warriors, which was like the first spin-off. Then there was Gundam Warriors, I think, or Gundam Assault, something like that.
Well, Gundam something. Yeah, there was a Gundam a version of that. Yes.
Yeah, and then I think it's Warriors Orochi or something along those lines, where it was a crossover between like the Dynasty Warriors and the Samurai Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
So that, and then here the latest version of it is Hyrule Warriors. Yeah, but not every beat 'em up needs a skill tree and loadout. Well, I wouldn't argue that at all. Yeah, I don't need those things. Fucking. What is it? Turtles in Time doesn't have skill trees or loadouts, and it's often considered like one of the best beat 'em ups ever made.
Now, when Jordan over there, what the fuck is this game? It is called Red Earth, my good sir. It is an old arcade game. It is the first time it's actually seeing out of the arcade outside of emulation.
There's a legal way to play this game.
Well, technically, if you buy the emulator from thing.
I guess if you buy the arcade cabinet, I suppose.
Yeah, because the arcade cabinet, the emulator essentially is the arcade cabinet. And sometimes, like, actual official companies will be perfectly fine and dandy. Okay, here's this emulator that we actually endorse because blah blah blah. There's that way, and then let me go to this Reddit page, find who has emulated the thing in HD with better controls and all that other crap. I mean, heck, seriously, how many of us out there has ever played Mugen?
Yeah. I played it a couple times, but I wasn't overly impressed. My main thing is like I appreciate them bringing in so many characters, but it's like the sense of balancing just wasn't there. I think it's like you're also talking about balancing in Mugen, so that's kind of self-defeating at that point.
Bullshit. Balancing the Mugen. Chuck Norris. He hits you once you lose. That is that is the balance.
The best one I ever saw was the Death Star. Where it was like, yeah, you as a character would fight the Death Star.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it would just send out TIE fires and open the death and fire the death laser. And it's like, yeah, you couldn't move as soon as you got tapped.
Hell, there was one that basically had all of Bison's dolls on one team. They all swarmed you and fought you at once. There's literally next to no way. There's very little way to actually beat them. Since all of them, they did not share a life bar. Each one of them had their own individual life bar. So, deal with it.
No, I'm right there with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's Leo's campaign for Red Earth. It took us fucking forever to get everything rolling out according to plan, but yeah.
It was an effort, but we made it work.
Yeah.
So what you thinking? Do one more, and what do you want to do from there?
I mean, yeah, because one campaign took me like an hour. There were 4 campaigns. I was hopeful originally if we could have got shit done early enough. If shit worked early enough, we could have gone through the whole campaign of this.
I'm thinking like cut in half.
So one more.
Yeah, say do one more.
Okay.
And then we'll come back and we'll come Wednesday and
hopefully
we should
fix
be able to
every
finish.
problems.